Okay, and we are live for the Battle of Atlanta post show with Dawson Holt on the Power Chat series. How are you doing, Dawson?
I'm doing very well, Isabella. How are you?
I'm doing good. So excited to have you on the show. The Battle of Atlanta just happened, so it's fresh news. Why don't you tell everybody how you did?
Well, I did very well this past week. I ended up winning, taking three first places in 2 seconds. So I ended up winning the men's 18, the men's overall weapons, CMX weapons, and yeah, that was my first time winning that division. So the past tournament, I won my first overall forms division, and now this is my first overall weapons. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that, and there's more to come. Planning
Is
on
this your
to
first?
win some more.
Is this your first overall in general or in the adult division?
This is my first overall in the adult division.
Okay. All right. So if you notice anybody watching, Dawson has a Team Paul Mitchell shirt on. He's one of the newest members of JPM. Tell me how you got onto the team, what those conversations were like, and how it's been so far.
Well, Paul Mitchell has a history of being very private on their selections, and um, they wait till the right time. And for the right time to happen, to whoever who gets called, it's very unexpected. That's all I can say. It's very, very unexpected. And for me, I got called when I was taking a nap in bed. So like Lauren called me and I hung up the phone, which is not really smart of me to do that. But I don't know. Jackson called me a few minutes later and I got the call, and I mean it's been history ever since then. So yeah, it's very unexpected, and it was always been a goal for me to get on Paul Mitchell for long term reasons, and it's been. I mean, I've been. It's been about 7 years for me to finally get called on the team. So yeah.
So you're telling me you declined Lauren's call at first?
Yeah, well, it didn't have her name. It was an unknown caller from.
Okay.
It was just an unknown caller, so I didn't know. I just hung up the phone. Yeah, I was tired that day, so
Reasonable. But then you saw a familiar number and you got the good news delivered to you?
I did. Yes, it's very unexpected. I was shocked, very flabbergasted, and yeah, it was awesome.
So for the Battle of Atlanta, you competed in 5 divisions, won the overall in weapons. There was a record number of attendees at this tournament. What was the competition like for you in your divisions?
Oh, it was loaded with talent and just absolutely amazing martial artists. There was nobody in that division where I could say that's just like didn't belong up there. So it was such an honor to compete alongside my teammates and everyone else, and just the talent, the camaraderie. Everyone respects one another of our martial arts, our lifestyle, and yeah, it was an incredibly deep division, and it was very entertaining. Um, it was very entertaining to watch from the audience.
So speaking of entertaining, I know competitors like to stay in their competition mindset during their division. But if you did happen to catch a glimpse of your competition's forms, how do you process that information? What's your personal thoughts when you see, wow, that was a really good trick, or whoa, that was really creative? How do
Uh,
you react?
for myself,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, you know, um, it really just depends on how I feel and everything. I think my personal favorite. I mean, there was. Ooh, I think either my two top favorite forms was my first one that I did was extreme weapons. I mean, there's a few stuff that I rushed, but overall, I think that was. I would have to say that was my by far my favorite weapons form,
Mm-hmm.
or probably by far the best one that I threw because I just went on ahead and threw everything in there. There was a few stuff that I had in my pocket, but I decided not to unveil them just yet. But for the most part, I still went all out and showed out and ended up claiming that one. So it really
So
just depends on how I feel. But yeah, I would have to say that was the form of the whole tournament for sure.
Okay, so that was a different answer to the question that I was kind of asking. I asked it a little funny, but when you're in such a loaded and a stacked division, and your competition is so good, does that intimidate you or excite you in any way? How do you sort of respond if you catch a glimpse of a competitor's form and it turns out to be really good?
Oh well, I mean it. Thanks for elaborating, by the way. Um, I wouldn't say it would intimidate me at all. I mean, it helps motivate me, obviously. Um, but that's one thing when it comes to mind games. You should not let your competitor intimidate you at all. Because even if you shouldn't even be intimidated by going up there and dropping, you shouldn't even be thinking about that um, at all. It's just the confidence, the mindset, all comes from preparation. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
What does your
For that.
preparation look like?
For as far as preparation, just I mean, it's pretty simple. Just loads and loads of reps of the form. Break it down into sections. See what looks good. See what's comfortable, and yeah, just loads and loads of reps of the form.
Okay. Any other type of training that you do, or is your main focus on doing sections?
Yes, there's other types of training. For one, obviously I've incorporated a little bit more cardio into my um, training as far as a little bit of weight training. Been going down a little bit on that because I don't want to get too big as far as I don't want to lose mobility for uh, as far as tricking goes and in forms. So um, a little bit of weight training and just more muscular endurance type of things as far as things go. So pretty much what I do is I'll wake up in the morning, go to the gym, get that stuff out of the way, and then I'll come home, eat, um, recover. Then I'll go either outside in my house. I have a new dojo outside, or I'll either go out there or I'll go to the karate school, 20 minutes from my house, and I'll go out there and I'll train forms.
So, one of the things as a product, not only of this competition and this tournament, you winning and overall, was also you kind of went viral on the Point Fighter Live page with your weapons form. Did you notice that you went viral?
Yeah, Alex. Surprisingly, yeah, Alex came up to me. He's like, "Dude, you're hitting it off on Facebook." I was like, "Really?" Um, it was mid. He just ran into me at the tournament. I wasn't looking through Facebook. I was just
Mhm.
trying to get ready to compete the next day. So yeah, um, people hate. People hate. So I mean, it is what it is. All I can do is just do me, and yeah.
I mean, you mentioned, people hate but there's a lot of supporters out there who really enjoyed your form, enjoyed the speed and the creativity. How do you get those creative juices flowing?
Uh, as far as fluidity in the form, obviously not just train your basics, but figure out footwork. Footwork is another key element to just perfecting a form. It's footwork, certain angles and corners that you can go incorporate into. So there's a lot of little behind the scenes stuff that I've you know go figured out in the form as far as fluidity and speed goes, because sword and bow is completely different weapons, so it's hard to make it look as fast as the other weapons, including bow, commas. So yeah, um, but yeah, so far everything's working so far as
So
far as
you were
speed.
formerly on Competitive Edge and now on JPM. So for both teams, competing against your teammates is not foreign to you. Some of them are your friends, your teammates. Now you're also competing against Jake, whom you competed against for this overall. Tell me a little bit more about what's that like.
Well, Jake and have been friends for a while now. We live in the same town together, so we'll train a little bit together. I mean, we have our moments where we train privately, but we have a good brotherly bond, and obviously we're competitors in the ring, but outside the ring, we're best friends. So yeah, I'm glad to say that he's also a brother. He's like a brother to me, but at the same time, he keeps me motivated, keeps me pushing to be my best.
So as time goes on, the adult division changes. People come up from juniors and into the adult division. People start to retire. There's a lot of transitions that happen. For you, when you were younger, starting off, who were some of your role models in the adult division?
Oh, coming up when I first started NASCAR 2014, Battle of Atlanta was my first tournament for adults. I first saw it was Caitlin Deshelle, right? She was that was like her last year. Reed was another one for me. Reed, Tyler, I mean, instantly those three names off the bat. I always loved watching Reed, Jackson, Cole, basically my coaches. So those are my guys that I looked up to and a lot, and they kept pushing me. And I mean, it's crazy to look at now. Of I'm kind of stepping onto the plate, and they're in the adult division while they're going on to the next chapter in life. And yeah, it's just crazy how that's happened since I was a 10-year-old kid to where I am now.
It's like things are going full circle, especially, I mean, they were every name that you listed on JPM and um, in the rings and on the stages that you're dominating now.
What's
And
that?
so, yeah, and so the next tournament for you, US Open, right?
Yes, yes.
Are you looking forward to that? Uh, Anything going to change or any lessons that you learned from this competition?
Oh well, I'm extremely excited. I'm locked in. You know, I when it comes to these two incredibly big tournaments, you know, I don't go out. I isolate myself. I stay focused. I lock in, and I got some new concepts that I got in the bag, and we'll just see what happens. Right now, I just gotta stay calm, play my own game, and everything should be good from there. We'll just see what happens.
Do you always stay calm? Is that your natural disposition? You said you got to stay calm. Are you ever not calm? Are you ever?
Well, I mean, there's a point where I used to be nervous at first, but now it's gotten to the point where I have figured out how to deal with those emotions, and so forth, it's working. I think that's the best thing. The most and the easiest way to stay calm is obviously it's just to prepare for the tournament. So like if you've if you've practiced the form enough to where you can do it with your eyes closed, you shouldn't. There's no reason to be nervous. There's no reason to like have sweaty palms. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
just stay calm, and everything else should be easy from there from then on.
It's just another day in the office, basically.
Pretty much, just
Okay.
another day. That's right.
All right. So, last question. Overall thoughts. Any final comments about the Battle of Atlanta from your perspective?
Well, there was uh, a lot of talent, a lot of people showed up. I mean, there were so many people that all the rooms were booked. They're all full. So I had to stay at the Sheraton, which one of my roommates was Samuel Diaz. Him and I had to him and I had to journey our ways out to the tournament. We had to walk up like several flights of stairs and like two bridges just to get to the tournament. So that was a part of our warm up before the competition. So yeah, there's a lot of talent. There's Reed, who was the night show host, and which I think he did a fantastic job. There's just every year, I see everyone getting better. Even the promoters, they're figuring out new ways to better on the sport, including the athletes. So um, that's all I really have to say.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dawson, for coming on to the Power Chat series and talking about the Battle of Atlanta and also you as a martial artist.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For everyone watching, thank you for watching the Power Chat series. I hope you enjoyed the show and come back for my next one.